I asked you guys for your favorite abilities in Partners in Time, and you guys have answered. So in this video, we're going to be ranking all 7 of the abilities, and let me say that this is a very top-heavy list. I said in the Dream Team Bros item ranking that was a very top-heavy list, but no, this one was super top-heavy. But if you haven't voted, I'm still going to have a link in the description below, as well as an info card to go actually send you to the video so you can actually vote. But other than that, don't forget to subscribe to the Shroob Sentai, and let's just get started. Apparently this thing's called the baby pump. Whatever, it doesn't matter what it's called. It's still garbage, and no one voted for it, and thank God for it. The reason why no one voted for it is not because no one would really consider it their favorite, but they consider it good. No, they just think it's awful. And, well, I'm also in that place. The reason why it's not a good ability, in my opinion, is you moving incredibly slow when you have all the water inside of you, which makes it really annoying because most of the time you use this ability is in Yoshi's Island, where either you have to put out the fire, which isn't close to the pump, or when you're in Yu's belly, where you have to try to break the eggs, and if you miss once, most of the time, it's gonna be a nightmare, because you're not gonna be trying to fill it up with as much water as possible, because then you have to continuously use your hammer to get all the water out. It's very annoying, and it's just not something that's very necessary in this game. Every single ability at least is necessary, and at least adds something to this game. The baby pump does nothing for that. Obviously it puts out fire in Yoshi's Island, but that's not really needed. You could just do the question mark blocks, and that's it. And as well as, you can just trying to find the Yoshis in Yu's belly instead of just trying to break the eggs. And I know they did that at the beginning, but I'd rather just do that again, even though it'd be a bit repetitive, because this ability is just awful. Toadsworth Twist got 0 votes, understandably, but it's a bit disappointing. But, I mean, it's very simple. I don't think that anyone would really prefer using this all the time. Obviously, it's a bit annoying because if you have the babies with you, you can't actually use the Toadsworth Twist, because you either have to throw them, which, before you get the baby spin, you have to just go through it, but once you get the baby spin, if the babies are in the way, then it's just gonna segue into just going into the baby spin, which is a bit annoying. But I can't really find anything really wrong with this thing. It's fine, it's not annoying to use like the baby pump, but it's not anything special, which is probably why it got 0 votes. The baby cakes are a really cool concept. I like that you have to use the bros ball to actually crush them, but it's not really that good of execution, and I'm kind of surprised that someone actually voted for it, because this is my second least favorite ability from this game. And, well, let's say this right now. The baby cakes can easily be fixed by one thing, but just some minor flaws is that, I mean, we already have an ability, the baby drill, that you get way before in the game that actually lets you go under stuff. We got it being a little bit too slow. I feel like you just get a bit slower when you're crushed. But I think the main problem I have with the baby cakes is that there's a timer attached to it. And the only way to stop that timer, quote unquote, is to get on a fan. And it doesn't really stop it, it just delays it a bit. But it's annoying when you get off and you're stuck in a place, because, well, you won't get stuck, but you have to actually go back to the bros, so you can get crushed again, so you run out of the timer again. It's really annoying. I really wish there was a way that the babies could just pop off on their own. Just, there you go, they're not crushed anymore, but you control it instead of it being on a timer. Maybe, just maybe, that with the bros, you can just have them do the bros ball again, and then they're just uncrushed again. It wouldn't make sense, but, I mean, how in the world does hitting Mario with a hammer when he's small get him back big again. It doesn't make sense, but in reality, it's probably the way to fix it. I don't really know why someone voted for the baby spin. It's kind of just boring. I actually think it's worse than the Toadsworth twist because if you miss, then you're going to be in a world of hurt because you can't actually control the baby spin without the bros being there. But I will say that this is the best way to get vertical distance in the game. So I guess it has that unique attribute, but it's not bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not really annoying to use, so it's not something I'd probably put at the bottom, but it's not something I'd put very high, just because it's not really that good or fun to use. It's kind of just boring, because at least with the baby cakes, it's kind of unique what they do to combine the bros ball with the babies, but with the Toadsworth twist, it just launches them higher. And obviously it's useful to get stuff like beans and item blocks, but other than that, it's just kind of boring to me. The baby drill is a very useful item, and the reason why is because it gets under stuff. Yes, the baby cakes can do that, but I kind of explained in the baby cake session why I'd way rather use the drill, and you can use it to avoid enemies, which personally I don't use because I like fighting enemies, but if you're very underleveled or if you're doing a speed run, well, we'll explain why that's not going to be great, but if you want to avoid enemies, then it's great, and it's not very useful for a speed run because when you bury into the ground, one of the biggest problems for me personally is it's too slow. Now, it's probably the same speed as the baby cakes or a bit slower, which is definitely annoying. I'd rather just be out in the open moving faster. But I think the main problem with it, with everybody, is that it's not very fun. It's something that's very useful, but it's not actually that fun compared to the next abilities that we're going to talk about. So I think that's probably why not many people voted for it. Number 2 is the hammer. What am I supposed to say? It's just a hammer. With 3 people voted for this, which is kind of surprising to me. But it's just a hammer. That's all this thing is. And yes, you may be thinking like it's bad because it's a hammer. I'm not saying it's bad because it's just a hammer. I'm saying that there's just better things in this game that are more unique and more fun to use. And even like between the drill and the hammer, I'd probably pick the drill because at least has a bit more uniqueness to it. It's just a hammer that got 3 votes, and that's all it really is. And obviously, that's not a bad thing that it's simple, and I do agree that it's somewhat satisfying to destroy boxes in Vim Factory and selecting switches, but that's all it is. It's just a hammer to do that simple stuff. Number 1 is the Bros Ball, and let's just look at that number for a second. 15 votes went to the Bros Ball. This is a very top-heavy list. 15 people voted for the Bros Ball, including me, because it's easily the best ability in this game. It's just so fun to roll around really fast with the Bros Ball. And yes, you could say it's situational, you only really use it for minigames, and it's a bit underwhelming how little it's used, but when you use it, it's just so fun, and compared to every other ability in this game, it's just a league on its own. It's just so fun to use this thing. And that's easily why it's number 1, and why everyone voted for it. Let's be real here. It's just fun to use this thing. And no one really disagrees on me with this because it got 15 votes. Thank you guys for watching this video. My next video will be about the 1,000-year door second poll. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe to the Shroob and I'll catch you guys in the next video.